What's up, Brian? What's going on?
Not a whole lot, Todd. How you been?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
So how was your trip out to the Pacific Northwest?
It was good. It was really good. It was cold and rainy, so I didn't get to spend as much time outside as I wanted to.
Yeah.
But it was definitely an adventure. We did go to the spot that we were talking about going to, and I think we found almost the exact location. And yeah, it was real creepy. It wasn't like I was being watched or, it wasn't like it was silent or I felt like anything was there, but it's just creepy,
Yeah. That would.
So I did that and I drove other places that I was talking about, south of the Columbia River there, south of Corbett, and stopped. Like I said, it was just really cold, and windy. Yeah. So it was almost unbearable. I wasn't prepared for it. It was supposed to be 55, maybe 60, but it ended up being maybe 45 and rainy and windy. So
that sucks.
Yeah. But, it was interesting. I think I sent you a video or two of me walking along a trail or whatever with all the moss-covered trees and all the creepiness going on, for sure. But, yeah, it was cool. It was cool. We need to plan a trip up into Michigan sometime soon.
Yes, we do. Right around Manistee, right?
Manistee or the other side, Huron. There's a lot of reports of the Dogman up there.
Yeah, I was just reading that. Where is it at? Wexford County?
Wexford County.
Where the original sighting was.
Back in 1880-something. I read that somewhere, yeah.
1887, yeah.
So we both did a little bit of homework on this.
Yep.
The Dogman. What do you think about that thing?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
If that thing is real, I'm going to tell you right now, if that thing is real and exists, I will probably never leave my house again because I am scared shitless of werewolves. The movie The Howling did it for me as a kid. That was it. So People are seeing... maybe they think it's a Bigfoot, but it's not. It's a creature that stands on two legs and can maybe run on four legs like a Bigfoot, supposedly, but they're seeing a dog or a wolf's head on these things.
See, it's at night most of the time, and maybe it's just a case of mistaken identity.
Right.
Maybe because of this legend, that's what they think they're seeing.
He's not just in Michigan, though. He's been reported in Wisconsin and other places, too. The Beast of Bray Road is in Wisconsin.
Yep, I got that one, too. Yeah.
So, but it seems to be more northern, Great Lakes area, maybe? A little bit? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
But this Dogman thing, to me, this thing's just out for blood and going to eat you. I mean, there's no way around it. If it's a wolf-like creature walking on two legs, this thing's out to get you, man.
But how many people has it killed? I can't find any of that. I don't think it has.
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
Need to look into that some more. We need to get up there and start poking around.
Yeah, we will. We will soon, definitely. Once the weather breaks here.
Because hell, that's a day trip.
yeah, definitely. We get up early on a Saturday. Like 3-4 in the morning and get where we need to be by 8 a.m.
Yep. Walk
around for a couple hours and hopefully encounter something. But the Dogman thing, like I said, it scares the living hell out of me. If these things are real.
If this is real, this will be some shit.
So
I'm ready. I'm ready to go look. I'm ready to go find it. So
that one I would probably run on you. I'd leave you standing there.
Hey man, I have guns.
But yeah, this thing, this is crazy. A wolf-like creature, bipedal, walking on two legs.
Yeah.
The Bray Road story is the one where she pulls up on the road in Bray Road in Wisconsin, wherever that is. And, she sees a creature bent over in the road eating like what appears to be roadkill. And the closer she gets, I think it has its back to her and it just kind of turns around and looks at her and she sees a wolf's head with glowing yellow eyes, and it stands up. And eventually it darts off, I guess, or she tries to back up. I don't remember the rest of the story, but that was like the beginning of the sighting of the Dogman, I believe. But I guess, no, you're right. In Michigan, it was Wexford, Michigan, or Wexford County or something
Wexford County,
that.
yeah.
Was the original. Where's that at exactly? Is that in the Manistee National Forest area?
I think it's around that area, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Thompsonville, Michigan is close to there, I believe. Crystal Mountain Ski Resort.
Oh. Yeah, that's right around Cadillac.
Like I told you the one time that I was doing some hiking at Jubilee Lake there in Oregon. Remember that?
Crystal Lake.
And I told you I got out to the end of that path and it opened up into a broad field. And I don't know I can't tell you how far I went. Quarter of a mile. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I started thinking, now, the trail's in, there's an open kind of field, but it's got tall brush, and I'm like, I just started thinking, Bigfoot, cool. And then I started thinking, what if I encountered what people have talked about the Dogman out here? I mean, now that right there sent me heading back immediately back on the trail. I was like, okay, wait a minute. There could be things out here that you just don't know about. And there probably are.
Absolutely could be.
And you've gotten yourself far enough away. And so that crossed my mind, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Had I not thought of it and just kept my mind on Bigfoot, maybe I'd have kept going a little bit more. But man, can you imagine? Can you only imagine?
I don't know. Yeah, that would be terrifying. I mean, Bigfoot, I could probably do, but if I saw something like that, I don't know. I don't know what I'd do.
It leads you to believe, in my mind, that if these things exist, it's almost got to be a government experiment at this point. That's my feeling on it. I don't know what, unless we get into the interdimensional thing, I don't know what's the reasoning behind it. I guess it's the Bigfoot theory too, but, now we're talking Dogman. What's next? We're going to have Pigman.
Dogman, that could just be a werewolf,
Are werewolves real? Are people turning into werewolves and turning back to humans?
You never know.
What's that called? Lycanthropy or something like that? Or
lycanthropy, yeah.
Lycanthropy, yeah. Yeah, there's a term for that. So for those of you listeners out there that didn't know that, there's a term for being a werewolf.
Yeah. So I hope people listening to this show, I hope knows that.
Right. So I was YouTubing and watching some videos today, trying to research a little bit before we got together and talked about this. Yeah, there's a lot of encounters out there. One kid was talking about, I think he was in Wisconsin, and he was out with his buddies playing airsoft guns or paintball guns or something, and he ran into one, and it chased him. He said, I just thought, if I hesitate, I'm dead. I got to just keep going. So,
yeah,
I believe that's on the Terror in the Woods series. One of those things, or the Fear of the Woods or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah.
I don't know. Going. A lot of it is Michigan, and I wonder why.
There's nothing up there. There's nothing there.
I mean,
it's surrounded by lakes. That far north is a lot of woods. And there's just nothing there. Maybe there's a portal there or something. Maybe there's a supernatural edge to this up there. I don't know.
I'm going to say something.
We're not going to know until we get up there.
I'm going to say something crazy here, but you talk about this Dogman, you talk about Bigfoot, you talk about Jersey Devil. What if there is a portal and these things, whatever they are, can come in any form they want to, and they choose to come in these forms? I don't know. I think I'll be a Bigfoot today. Tomorrow I'm going to be the Mothman, and then the Jersey Devil. I'm just going to scare the shit out of people.
Mothman, that's a whole different thing. A Mothman,
right? We'll have an episode on him or two or three,
yeah.
And then I'm just going to go back to the spirit world and just be a spirit of whatever. Maybe these things are demons. Maybe these are spiritual demons coming to life form.
Some people have called them that.
But why would they stay in the woods? And why would they hunt?
What are they going to do? Walk down the middle of Detroit? They get shot. Yeah, we can't go to the city. We'll get shot.
Right. Have you seen that one video with, it looks like a Dogman creature running on all fours toward the car alongside of the road? Have you seen that video? It's kind of like in a mossy field, and it's just kind of charges really quick, and it's big and husky.
No.
Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that one's out there. I can't remember.
I have to look that up.
If I can find it, I'll send it to you. But yeah, there's that video. But there's not a lot of videos of the Dogman. I guess if he exists, there's a lot less of them than there are Bigfoot. But I'm just trying to grasp how
people aren't really going out looking for him, from what I understand. They just still happen to see him. They just come across him.
Right. Same concept as Bigfoot, though, too, right? I mean,
oh yeah.
Like we said, people that go searching for Bigfoot don't find Bigfoot. It's the people who don't believe in him or aren't thinking about it
that all of a sudden run into him.
Yeah. Now, you and me, I'm sure we're the same. When I'm out in the woods for any reason, or near any woods for any reason, whether I'm camping or just hiking, whatever, I'm always on alert for any kind of possibility. Listening for anything, But yeah, there's not a ton of Dogman videos out there, but they've talked about them, especially in Michigan, for so many years. And there's been encounters. Again, no one's ever been attacked by one per se. It's always been kind of they run off, I guess. I listened to a podcast about one where a guy was hunting and he was kind of sitting in a pile of logs. He kind of sat back down in a pile of logs. And I'm going to say this is probably in Michigan. And he said, I could sit inside these logs and I could just kind of peek through a log or two and have an open shot, have a shot at anything around me, a 360 shot, basically. And he said it was just getting daybreak. And he goes, I got in there before it was dark, when it was still dark, and trekked out in the woods and got in there. And it was just getting daybreak, he said, and I could just see. And he said, not even like 15 feet in the brush pile down in front of me, to my left, I guess it was, he saw the head of this creature just pop up and look around. And he said it looked like a wolf.
Shit.
And then it stood up, and he must have made a noise or something, because he said it just jerked and looked right at me. And he said in a split second, that thing was 25 yards away from me, just boom. And then it just took off and was gone. And he said it was on 2 feet at first, and then it just ran on 4 feet, four legs, however.
Lord. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I don't know what I could do that.
He would have had to walk up on that thing while it was there sleeping. It didn't. How did it not hear him? Or maybe it did. I don't know. That's weird to me. That's weird to me. Maybe Dogman's a heavy sleeper.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he was in the middle of something.
So, yeah. There was another story about down in Roanoke, Virginia. And I saw this on, I think, one of the Fear of the Woods episodes, and probably a lot of other people have too who are listening. And maybe you have too, Brian. I don't know. But a gentleman and his wife were into camping, pulling their trailer. They had a small RV, and they would go camping, and they drove out to Roanoke, the island and all that out there. And I guess they were driving in some national forest or some forest where they were going to try to camp, be like, primitive camping. And as they're driving down some dirt lane, he said he heard something smack the back of his RV real hard, and heard something crack or something, because they had their windows down, I guess. And so he stopped on the road and he got out to get back, and he looked, and his taillight was busted. And then he had his gun, I guess. He said he had a .357 Magnum. And he heard something across the road in the bushes. And he says he walks over there, and he's watching, and he's seeing the brush move. And then all of a sudden he sees a dog or a wolf head.
Damn.
And then he said he noticed it jumped up on a rock, a big boulder that was there, and just looked at him. And he said it was the weirdest looking wolf I'd ever seen in my life. And then he said it shocked him. He goes, then it stood up. It was like 7 feet tall. And I freaked out.
Oh, man.
And he said, as I was trying to grasp what was going on, I noticed to the right and the left, I saw other sets of eyes. There were more of them. He says, so I shot at it, and I guess he hit it kind of in the shoulder or down below the shoulder, and it just kind of, he goes, I know I hit it because I could see like the dust fly off its fur. And he said it just kind of jerked and just didn't do anything. He just kind of looked at me and kind of snarled, and I was like, okay, I'm out of here.
Time to go. Yep, time to go.
So he gets in the truck and he takes off. And his wife's like, what's going on? What's going on? And he's like, I didn't say anything until we got to, we went to a grocery store to get groceries. And he said we were coming out and there was a guy sitting in this truck just staring at me and just giving me this mean look. So I tell my wife, go ahead and go to the truck with the groceries. And I walked over and I said, hey, can I help you? And he's like, oh, I thought you were my buddy. I was just messing with you. And he said, I noticed a rifle in the back of his truck on a rack, and I thought it was unusual that people still did that nowadays. And he said, I see you're a hunter. And the guy's like, yeah. He goes, you ever hunt around here? Or you ever see anything weird around here? And the guy's like, he said he just stared at me for like what seemed like 10 seconds. And he said, did you see it too? And he's like, yeah. And that was it. He's like, the guy's like, yeah, I don't go in the swamps anymore. So crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You don't know, you don't know if that's true or not, but
hey, you never know.
This Dogman thing could be, I gotta believe it's gotta be some kind of scientific experiment or something. Bigfoot, maybe.
Could be.
The thing that gets me with Bigfoot is they talk about the juveniles, or children Bigfoot. So that, to me, I don't think that they're a project or anything.
I don't think so either. I don't think they are.
Yeah. But the Dogman, you don't know. How many of them could there be? Are they reproducing? Or did someone try to breed a man and a dog in some laboratory and got the Dogman and it escaped? Or they just had to let it go, or it was going to kill somebody? I don't know.
Is it in somebody's bloodline?
Is it lycanthropy?
I don't know. There's a lot of
lycanthropy. How do you pronounce it? Is that lycanthropy?
Lycanthropy, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Somebody will correct us, I'm sure.
I hope so. If you guys want to correct us, you can email us at info@cryptidcreatures.co. Not com. It's just .co.
Yep.
Or Brian, what is it? They can get a hold of us on Facebook, Instagram.
Instagram is @cryptidcreatures. Facebook is Cryptid Creatures, the Facebook page. Mm-hmm. And now we have Twitter up and running, so it's @CryptidCreature1.
Okay. Gotcha.
With no E. There's no E on the end of creature. It's just
Creature R1.
Yep.
Okay. I'll let you handle that vibe. I'm not a Twitter guy, so.
Yep. So that's up and running.
We've got a lot of likes on some pages that we've shared our stuff on, so hopefully we get some more listeners on there.
Get some more listeners and some more people joining in, telling us about their stories. And
yeah, we'd love to hear some Dogman stories, you guys.
Absolutely.
Don't be afraid to contact us. We can keep it confidential. Yeah. We can change your name. You don't even have to be on the show if you don't want to. Just tell us your story and let us reiterate it.
We'll read it. We'll leave your name out of it if you want to. Mm-hmm. Nothing gets made fun of on this show. We are totally 100% serious about this.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. No. And we're working on getting some guests on. If we haven't had a guest by the time you guys have heard this episode, we're going to work on some more, or get some and work on some more for sure. So that's our main goal. Get as many guests as possible and talk about these encounters, no matter what it is. It can be Bigfoot, Dogman, it can be alien, or just something strange, ghost related.
Something maybe you've seen you can't explain, or heard out in the woods that you can't explain.
Right.
Bring it to us.
Yeah, and as I've started thinking, I'm not a really religious person, but lately really getting into this, and Brian, as you and I are doing this podcast together and thinking about and investigating and stuff, it's like I'm really starting to think there's a spiritual world out there. I don't believe it's a spiritual world like most religions feel, but I think there's a different dimension out there, and it might explain some of these things that we're seeing or what's going on here. I don't know.
Yeah, it could very well be.
I mean, it's hard for me to grasp the fact that the Dogman. I do want to believe. Do I want to believe is real? Honestly, I do. I want to believe all the cryptids are real because I want to prove that these things exist, and people need to believe that. Hey, when people are seeing stuff and they're telling you what they see, they're telling you the truth. They're not making it up for no reason.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't think these are guys out in Wolfman costumes running around
No,
either.
no, I don't believe that. I mean, we've had our share of hoaxes along the way, but I think a lot of these are pretty legit sightings and experiences.
There's a couple more well, I listened to another episode about, actually it was a TV show. There was a forest ranger guy, and they had blocked his face out and kind of muffled his voice so you didn't know who he was. He worked for the forestry department, and he said, I think it might have been in California. There was some fires somewhere. And he said, my job was to drive the roads during forest fires because most animals during a fire will try to find the road because it's the least burning area at the time. It's kind of dirt, so it doesn't burn as bad, but they end up dying of, whatever, and they just expired there on the road, basically. So we had to drive around and pick up dead deer and raccoons and everything. So he says they're driving this huge truck. It's 4-wheel drive, jacked up. It's got a big, front bumper, steel bumper ram thing on it. And he said, we're going along about 40 miles an hour, and it's real smoky. You can hardly see the road a little bit. And he said, all of a sudden, something out of my left just jumped, and it just kind of jumped underneath my front tire. And he said, it looked like a bear. And he goes, I hit it. And he said, I knew instantly when I hit it, I killed it because of the way the sound it made and how hard I hit it.
Yeah.
And he said, so we stopped and got out, and we went to pick up this bear. And he said, we started noticing it didn't have paws. It had feet and hands. And he said it had a snout, like a dog. And he didn't go into detail too much about it. He said, but somehow him and his buddy were able to pick this thing up and get it in the back of the truck, even though it weighed 400 pounds or something like that. I don't know how they did it. Rolled it in, who knows? But they got this thing in the back of his truck, and they said we drove it back to the station. And he said within minutes there were some rangers there that I'd never seen before, and they kind of detained us. And he said, I don't know where they took the truck or the animal. And he said then another 15 minutes went by, and guys in suits showed up in black Tahoes or whatever, and blacked out really? Windows, and said, take us to the spot where you hit this thing. And they didn't tell me who they were, but I assumed they were higher government officials.
Of course.
And he said, I take him to the spot, and I explain everything to him, and blah, blah, blah. And the guy just kind of interrupts me in the middle of my sentence and says, you hit a bear. That's what you hit. And that's what you're going to tell people you hit. And if you tell anyone
I don't think I did.
I didn't hit no damn bear.
That's right.
So he said, if you tell anybody different, then I'm going to make your life hell and ruin your pension, and you could serve jail time. So yeah, I'm surprised the guy came on the show and talked about it, but I'm glad he did. That's just
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Which leads me back to believe that these are things could be government experiments. That's my thought on the Dogman in general. I got to say that it's a government experiment gone wrong, or maybe it's gone right. But why would they?
Yeah. Maybe that one. Super soldiers. That would be the only reason for that.
Mm-hmm. Just like Bigfoot, right? So maybe they got tracking devices on these things. If this is true, if my philosophy, which is completely my own philosophy and opinion, if they would be releasing these things into the wild, they would be putting tracking devices on these things, would they not?
If they release them,
maybe so they know where they're at. They know when they're probably dead. But why so many in Michigan? And why Michigan? Maybe because no, there's Bigfoot in Michigan too. I wonder what happens when a Bigfoot and a Dogman meet up.
I don't know. Maybe we should find that out. We'll go out in the woods and be like, Bigfoot.
Or a bear.
Or who's going to win that one.
Who would win in a fight between a bear and a Dogman?
I would guess the Dogman.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, bears are pretty badass, but.
So, yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling
if
through.
This thing is engineered, then it's pretty strong.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to scroll through and look for some more information on this thing here, but
and why not Michigan? I mean, the whole up there. Once you get past Midland, there is nothing. I mean,
no,
it is wilderness.
That's right. There's Dogman sightings in. I'm sorry, Bigfoot sightings in Kalamazoo. Dogman, I need to research that. We should be.
Yeah, we need to look more into that.
Dogman sightings because
some more stuff, but there's not a whole lot on it.
We're not far away from there. We could do a Dogman / Bigfoot excursion in one day. Whatever you see, right?
Yep.
I'm definitely taking a gun though, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Just for protection.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We don't. The one thing we're not going to do. We don't want to kill them. Well, like those guys down in Mississippi or Louisiana or wherever they're at.
No, I've come to the conclusion at this point that I don't think the world's ever going to know for sure that Bigfoot exists. If we haven't proven it by now, I don't think we really ever are. There's a reason why we haven't. And that's a good reason why. And whatever that reason may be, that reason will continue for us not to. Unless someone's able to go out and kill and shoot and kill one and cut off a head or something like that and take part of the body back and keep it concealed and do not let the government get involved and do it through a research, maybe get with Jeff Meldrum or somebody like that, get it passed on to a guy like him at the University of Idaho.
Well, here you go. I found 12 deeply fascinating stories of the Michigan Dogman.
Mm-hmm. The Michigan Dogman was witnessed in 1887. I'm looking at that right there. 7 feet tall, blue-eyed or amber-eyed bipedal canine-like animal with a torso of a man and a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream.
Dogman screams like an infant in the night. That sounds terrifying.
That's creepy. Trying to lure you to the woods to eat you.
Yeah.
I wonder if they work in teams like Bigfoot does.
A Dogman incident may have been captured by OnStar.
Go on.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Go on.
Hang on a second. Let me quiet this. It's a video. There's a video of it. The famous Dogman OnStar incident occurred in Troy, Michigan. That's over by Detroit.
Troy, yeah, it is.
Back in 2006, a man was driving down the road when suddenly what he described as great big dog that was standing up appeared before him. He instinctively swerved to miss the creature and ended up running off the road and flipping the vehicle over on its side.
Oh, my God.
He and his passenger were not hurt, and he was able to get assistance through OnStar. The OnStar recording of that conversation spread across the internet, and you can listen to it on the above video.
Interesting. Can you play it by chance?
I can. See if you can hear it, though.
Let's get a listen to this.
Hello?
Something just ran in front of us on the road. We're in the ditch. We rolled over.
How many people are in the car, and is anyone injured?
There's 2 of us. I don't think we have any injuries.
Is the car on its top or wheels or what?
No, it's kind of sitting on its side.
Hold one moment, please, while I contact emergency services.
Okay.
So he's talking to the OnStar guy.
Yeah.
And his wife's in the car coughing.
Okay, the state police should be on their way in a few minutes. Is everyone still okay?
Yeah, I think we're okay.
What ran in front of you? A deer?
I don't know what the hell it was, but it was big. It looked like a great big dog. Standing up.
Was it a bear, maybe?
Maybe.
That is creepy as hell. If that's real, that's definitely creepy.
Yeah, that sounded pretty real.
I wonder if it says where it was at, what time. I mean, Troy, Michigan, but what did it give a date? Were you reading about that? I mean,
2006.
Did we find out what happened to these people? Should we look into this?
Doesn't say. Yeah, I would look into that some more. Famous Dogman OnStar incident occurred in Troy, Michigan in 2006.
I mean, did they find these people? Were they dead? Are they not there? What
It doesn't say anything else about it. That's all it says.
man, I tell you.
The OnStar recording of the conversation is spread across the internet, and you can listen to it on the above video. That's all it says.
Mm-hmm. I have a hard time, honestly, believing that Dogman is real. I really do. I believe in Bigfoot, but the Dogman, I'm on the fence about. I think for two reasons. Because, there's not a ton of sightings. Maybe it's a deformed Bigfoot. And I don't want them to be real, because if they're real, then I'll never go outside again.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
as long as they stay up in Michigan, we're all right.
We'll wrap this up at that point, I guess, Brian. Guys, if you've seen anything ever at all,
stories.
Especially a Dogman, get a hold of us. Again,
yes, absolutely.
info@cryptidcreatures.co. There's no M on that. It's not .com, it's .co. So make sure you get that one.
That's right.
Twitter now, Brian says. So,
Twitter now, yep. I'm @cryptidcreature1.
Okay. No E, just R1, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then they can reach out to Facebook or Instagram and
@Cryptid Creatures on IG and on Cryptid and on Facebook.
Yep. So totally confidential, guys. If you don't want to, even if you don't want us to share your story and you just want to tell somebody, we'll be happy to listen or just read your email and not pass it on. We'd love to.
Or not leave your name out of it. Or if you want to be famous.
Right. Right. We're not just here to make a podcast. We're here to get down to the nitty gritty here and get as much info as we can.
We want to know for sure if these things exist,
right,
and why.
And by doing the podcast, we hope you guys interact and can help us solve some of these mysteries. So
yes, I hope everybody will join in and every contribution is taken seriously. So.
Yep. We want to get as many guests as possible. So please get a hold of us if you've got anything. And appreciate you listening, guys. Brian, got anything else for us?
Thank you, guys. And while you're out in the woods, wandering around this spring and summer, keep your eyes and ears open. Let us know what you hear and see.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, Brian. We'll talk to you next time.
All right, buddy.
All right. See ya.
See ya.